Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are going to look at 5 tanks that is noob friendly. Yes, noob friendly tanks. Now, people may disagree, but there are noob friendly tanks out there that players can play even if they are a noob and still actually do quite well. And then there is tanks out there that is just, not for noobs. So we're going to look at pretty much 5 tier 10 tanks that I think are noob friendly. Then of course we are going to look at not for noobs, 5 tanks that is definitely not for noobs. So the first up is the IS-7. Of course the IS-7 is a great tank, and you know, the better you are, the better you're going to play. Ultimately you can angle better, you know, you can do things like that probably noob players can't do, but ultimately I do think you can get away with a lot with the IS-7. The armor profile is very tricky. It's very, you know, you can bounce things when you don't expect to bounce things, and that's why I put the IS-7 as a noob friendly tank, because sometimes with this tank, if you try to bounce, you don't. Where if you are not trying to bounce, you just bounce a lot of shots. Like this game so far, I bounced 1100 damage. Haven't tried, you know, I haven't really angled too much, and I've still managed to block 1100 damage. And of course, yes, it's going to be a loss. It's a 2 versus 7. There is no chance we're going to get the victory here. But I want one more shot, and we do manage to get just above 4k. But definitely the IS-7 is the first noob friendly tank. Moving on to tank number 2. Tank number 2, like the IS-7, we've gone with the IS-4. Again, very similar, you know, very similar. The armor profile can be good. You can actually side scrape, you can angle, you can go hold down. There's a lot of things you can do with the IS-4. And again, even like that, I didn't even mean to block that, didn't angle to block that shot, but yet I still managed to block that shot. And again, the whole game for this game, 2,400 block damage, and I've still got sort of 2,500 damage, which is kind of average, really. And it's one of those tanks that you can block without blocking. You can get the damage. I do think the IS-7 is better, but I still think the IS-4 is a noob friendly tank. Moving on to tank number 3. Now, I wanted to add a medium. I didn't want to just add heavy tanks. I wanted to add all different. Now, there isn't going to be any light tanks in this, because I still don't think there is any light noob-friendly tanks. However, when it comes to medium tanks, I do think that the T22 medium is a noob-friendly tank. But I've gone with the E50M, because as everyone knows, like, how much I talk about the E50M, I do think it is the strongest tank, the strongest medium tank in the game. It's got everything, you know, accuracy, aim time, DPM, speed, it's heavy, it's got armor. Like, there's so much going for this tank, even noobs can play it. Like, yes, you know, depends on what you call a noob. If you call a noob a 50% player, or if you call a noob a 30% player, that is completely different. But if we sort of a newbie, sort of in the middle, 40 or say 40% player, then they can still take this tank out and be dangerous. They can still take the tank out and cause a nuisance, especially if they play it right. So if a 40% player takes out the E50M and goes the medium route, then you can still block damage, you can still pick up damage, and it can still be very, very dangerous. So definitely had to add the E50M as a noob friendly tank. Moving on to tank number 4. Now, I've gone with the Death Star. Now, people might disagree, but, you know, with the Death Star, it's the most popular tank in the game. It always has done. But it doesn't take a skilled player to aim at a tank and shoot and do 900 damage. Like, that doesn't take a skilled player. It doesn't take a skilled player to sit at the back of the map and just wait and do 900 damage. But what it does take is a skilled player to put this tank in the right position to be more effective than if you was to sit at the back of the map. Now, the thing with the Death Star, you've got to do something in the Death Star that people are not going to suspect. Like, if Dead Rail, for example. Let's just take Dead Rail. People are going to expect the Death Star to sit at the back of the map and, you know, in their certain position in the bush. People were going to expect that. But if you push a Death Star in the middle or the medium route on Dead Rail, it catches people off guard. And sometimes that is what you've got to do with the Death Star. And I've done it here. You know, I've gone the middle. I'm not sat at the back. Ultimately, it's probably not the best of maps for the Death Star. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to go the middle route and then see what I can do from the middle. And if I die, I die. But again, it doesn't take a genius to roll up in front of the enemy, take a shot and do 900 damage. Even now, even if I was to die now, or even if a noob was playing the tank and they still done 2,000 damage, you know, that's decent. Even though it's only 2 shots, but it's still decent. And like I said, it doesn't take a genius for someone to roll up in a Death Star, have 3 shots in a game and do 3,000 damage. That does not take a genius at all. So that is the Death Star tank number 4. Moving on to the last tank, the last noob friendly tank on my list. And as you can see, we managed to stay alive. Can we get the shot? Let's just kill the Death Star there. And luckily, I mean, 59 HP, 1 tank left. And is he going to kill me? Surely he's reloaded by now. Is he going to kill me? Yes, yes he is. So yeah, let's move on to tank number 1. So tank number 1, I've gone with the T110E4, another tank destroyer. Now, there are a few tank destroyers out there, but you know what? I've gone with the E4 because it has had buffs recently. It is strong. It's got a strong turret. It's got a good, decent armor. It's got a good gun, good penetration, nice alpha. And ultimately, you know, if you play, even if a noob player sort of plays this, they can still perform well in this tank. However, if you take tanks like this Hori, for example, that is not a noob friendly tank. You still need to do well, put it in sort of right positions, etc. in the Hori. However, with the E4, even though it's a tank destroyer, like, yes, of course, more pro players are going to do better. That's just any tank. But with the E4, you can just roll up in front of the enemy as a sort of a heavy tank, not as much as a tank destroyer. Or if they are going to drive it as a tank destroyer, you know, even if you are sat at the back of the map, you're going to do damage and you're going to block damage. And it's a great tank. Like, I love the E4 now. I didn't used to. I used to prefer the T30 over the E4, but over the sort of year or so, Wargaming buffed the armor profile, and they have actually made it into a better tank. Now, I thought I was going to die here. Got a bit lucky with that one, but at least I survived, and at least I'm going to get the kill. So yeah, that is my final tank, the E4. Those are my top 5 noob friendly tanks in tier 10. We've only looked at tier 10. If you want me to look at other tiers as well, no problem. But I like these top 5. I don't really do too many top 5 now, but we will be doing another top 5, the top 5 noob tanks. So these are 5 tanks that noob players can play and still do well. Where the next video I'm going to do is top 5 tanks where if noob players play, then they are not going to do well at all. So let me know if you agree with any of these tanks in these lists. Do you agree with any of the 5 tanks being noob friendly? Again, it is absolutely fine if you do disagree. That is what opinions are. And what tier 10 do you think is a noob friendly tank? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsyreplays, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.